Yo, it's your boy Swag 9 Mil back on Shibuya Tyson.com, back with an exclusive interview. Who I got in the building today?
You got Papa Doobio up in here.
Papa Doobio, man, what's going on? How you feeling today?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
How did you come up with your name?
Man, shit. How did I come up with my name? Well, back in like 6 years ago, I was in New Orleans for Mardi Gras. Or was it Jazz Fest? No, it was Jazz Fest. I was hanging out with a lot of my artist friends, and they ended up taking me out to town. But before we went out to town, one of my friends slipped a whole bunch of acid in a bottle of water. And he was like, "You know, you just took 50 hits of acid, didn't you?" I was like, "Nah, motherfuckers. I thought this was smart water." Fuck, I'm not ready for this. As I was rolling like 100 joints to get out into the public, you know, to go out and, because I don't really drink.
Okay.
I would much rather just go out and hang out with you and like have a good time and smoke some weed. You get fucked up, but I gotta make sure that we're cool.
Somebody
you know?
gotta be the
Yeah.
bro.
And we're out in the middle of the city that's kind of dangerous, you know what I mean? So I'm with my hippie friends, you know, and like they're all musicians, really cool people that I love hanging out with. And they introduced me to some of their friends downtown that evening, and they were like, "Man, we're all tripping really hard." And it started raining. It got cold. It's fucking New Orleans, you know what I mean? You're in the swamps.
Okay.
You know, that's how it feels. You're like, fuck, like a crocodile. I wish I was fucking cold-blooded so I don't feel shit. They invited me into this van, and it's like, considering it's my friends also and then your friends, they're about like 28 deep.
Must have been a big van, or y'all was pretty tight.
Yeah, the biggest van you could find, bro. I swear, when I saw that van, it looked like some fucking pirate ship. You know what I mean? Like, it was a hippie mobile. Long story short, we all jump in there. It's cold. Everybody's jumping in. I'm the last person. I'm still wet from the rain. I jump in the middle of the crowd inside the van, and I'm just laying there, cooling, like introducing myself to other people and whatnot. And they asked everybody that didn't have any weed. And you know me, I'm a major stoner. I smoke weed every day. I smoke an eighth at a time. You know, like, they were like, "Well, somebody's got to have some weed." I was like, I was tripping so hard, I didn't even know what was happening, really. I was just like, I think I got some weed. I popped out with 100 joints. And they were like, "Whoa." Everybody's like, "Jesus Christ," like, here, everybody grab one. I gave everybody a joint. And they're like, "Your name can't be Omar no more, man. It's like, it's too simple. You're too awesome." And I was like, I just met you. You don't really know me, you know?
That's a good friend, a friend with weed.
Right, it's a friend indeed. That's a damn sure. So then they're like, "Your name is Papa Doobio because you popped out with a Doobio." You know, and I gave everybody a Doobio. I was like, damn. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to stick with that name. It sounds pretty good, you know what I mean?
That's class.
And in a magical city like New Orleans, you really can't beat that. That's a fucking name given to you by real fucking hippies out of this fucking entire world that come to that city just to listen to good music. You know, like, I was granted a gift, you know, for sure.
Yes.
And then now I got it tatted to my back, you know, like my back's almost fully tatted now. I got all types of stuff that mean things in my life.
You tatted up, huh?
Well, just my back. I don't want my arms or my legs or anything else tatted.
Oh, so it's just your back?
Yeah, cause like I kind of like when I have kids sometime, like I don't want to expose tattoos to them and stuff like that kind of lifestyle until they grow up. That's cool. I don't care if you're my son and you want to have a couple tattoos here and there, but not so early in life. You know, I want them to grow right. You know, like not like I grew up here in Chicago where everybody here, there, on every street corner. You know,
where did you grow up from? Chicago? Which area?
Well, I grew up in like the Logan Square, Bucktown, you know, Wicker Park area, and then moved around the whole city a lot because my mom moved a lot.
How was that experience in like the Bucktown area where you first?
Oh man, I mean, I was a little kid skateboarding in the middle of the street, you know, doing fucking throwing bottles across the street, throwing rocks, you know, fucking having a good old time, you know. It was nice. At the same time, like, you didn't know what was around you.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know there was that person that was on the corner was a gang member or a hooker or a drug dealer, you know. the good old days when you didn't know shit was cracking, you know, and it really was though.
Right.
I was surprised that my mom ever even let me out this house because like you walk into that, you know, they're standing on your stair steps and stuff. And
So did that influence how you treated life growing up also? Like, did you take things more serious once you finally realized things that you didn't know when you was younger?
I mean, I sure did. It impacted my life to the fullest. I remember just telling myself as a kid, and you're just take this in consideration. I'm like a 9, 8, 10-year-old kid on the block, just like skateboarding or riding around with their friends on a bike. You know, getting pushed around because you don't know how to ride a bike yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, shit like that. Like you don't know what's good or bad out there. You just have fun. You know, but considering those kind of characters were around me, I didn't want to be them at one point in my life. You know, even though I did become a pothead. My dad did smoke weed. My mom hated it. I didn't know what that smell was in my house, and then I figured it out, and I became a major pothead. You know, it's like, whatever. At least I'm not an alcoholic, I'm not crashing cars, and you're not dead. You know, like...
So what age did you start smoking weed?
Man, this is a funny story. I think I was like 14 years old. I had a few friends over, like a few of my skateboarder friends, because I grew up skateboarding and shit.
Okay. Was you any good?
Hell yeah. I was riding with a lot of the teams here in Chicago, like Upright Skate Shop, you know, like a lot of locals here in Chicago know me completely all over this whole neighborhood and whole city. I really could go anywhere. I'll probably run into one of the skateboarders I grew up with, you know.
That's
I'm thankful that I grew up skateboarding, because that's my outlook when I was growing up in those neighborhoods, was that like everybody else was a gang member or wanting to be or was waiting to be, you know, where I was just like, I can't wait to learn a kickflip. I can't wait to do an ollie. I can't wait to get back to school. I can't wait to ride my skateboard back from school to my house. You know, when you were just running around with the gangsters doing some gangster shit, or the hood rats doing hood rat things, you know, like.
So your man always been on the next
step to be better than that, because I'm a visual learner. Like if I saw you doing something wrong, you end up in a predicament or whatnot, I'm gonna want to be better than that, if not learn from you and what your mistakes were. So like, you know, I carried life a lot different, and maybe it was because of my dad and mom, you know. My dad and mom were like, my mom worked for the Chicago Tribune my whole life, you know, like supplying the city with newspapers all over and distributing all over the city, and my dad was a mechanic. They were both hard workers and work every day. Even though my dad smoked some weed, whatever, I never thought that was a bad thing. But everything that was surrounding me did it, you know, evolve to making me a better person in the long run, even though I didn't think that it would do that.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard though, because, you know, the pressures in that kind of neighborhood, you're pressured to be something or do something,
right.
you know.
It made you a lot stronger too. Yeah. You're an artist, director, producer, photographer. Break down what it is you all do.
I guess I'm a professional film director now at this rate. But I do all that. I'm you know, an aerial photographer. I love flying drones. I love anything that has to do with cinema. You know, I just love taking pictures. It's an addiction that I have that I can't stop. I like capturing the moments with you. Like, even if you open up a bag of chips that you really enjoy, I capture that shit really to the perspective that it's almost like dream-wise, you know?
Yeah,
I like that.
Do a lot of people around you get familiar with you putting out your camera and taking pictures of them, like, every day?
Oh, man, it's like, I ask anyone, I don't go anywhere without my camera. It's always on my back.
Okay.
You know, and like I'm always ready to roll at any time. So people call me, and you know, sometimes, usually, mostly now, I'm just so busy. I got so much going on in my life that it's kind of hard to like sometimes just pick up that phone call real quick and be like, yo, I'll be right there. You know, it's kind of hectic now, but you know, I still got it all organized and shit, and just stay focused, you know, because I know everybody wants to be helped, and I would love to help. It's just gotta make some time here and there, you know.
So how much work did you put in? When did you first pick up the camera and start like taking pictures and shooting videos?
Well, music videos or like skate videos, cause like when I was younger, when I was a skateboarder, like
You
from
started
the
off with skateboarding.
yeah, I started off with skateboarding.
Who are some people that you film skating?
I helped film like all the local skateboarders in Chicago, you know, organically and originally. I did that with them, you know. Like I said, if you were my friend at that time, skateboarding and stuff, I would have to have a piece of you skateboarding somewhere in this bag. I have a bag that's got 100 tapes and it's got almost every skateboarder in the city. You know,
Wow.
and even till now, like my friend Chaz Ortiz, you know, I got videos of him skating back in the day. I got pictures of video, a lot of videos, footage from like Johnny Fonseca, a lot of people from like Junebug, Uriah from Upright Skate Shop. You know, these are all cats from the city that you could literally call, talk to them, and they'll literally like pick up the phone and want to be on it. You know.
For the fans out there that's interested in seeing some of that footage, do you have it on YouTube now?
Not at the moment. Like I said, I have a big bag. If you want to help me with it, sometime we'll go through it. And it's hundreds of thousands of videos, you know, thousands. It's a lot of videos, you know. Sometimes you don't even know like what you're gonna pop into when you pop one of those videos open.
So let's talk a little bit more about the Upright Skate Shop.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the history with that shop?
Sure. I mean, Upright Skate Shop was the original skate shop that I went to as a kid to get anything that I needed, from grip tape to skateboards to shoes. The staff there were like more like family, friends, and brothers to me. They're still to this day. Every time I run into them, no matter what, every night I run into one of them, and they know the appreciation that I give to them for teaching me how to ollie and getting me off the bullshit when I was a kid, and keeping me off it. You know, it's kind of nice to have people like them around, even though you know that. This is my driver. So yeah, it's nice to have local skateboarders like them around to help like the youth and in the local community, because like if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at. You know, that's for sure. It's like you being surrounded by gang members who are gonna allow you to be in their gang, and then you're gonna be worse. They allowed me to be a skateboarder and a normal kid in the community and grow as a normal child, you know. So I mean, that with that creativity, I started doing graffiti. Then I just kind of expanded to becoming more like a little hip hop artist kind of thing, you know what I mean? Where you're working on everything, really, like everything from videography to skateboarding, and also doing graffiti, and just being an artist within yourself, you know.
Speaking about local skateboarding, what's your relationship with Chaz Ortiz? You say you grew up with him?
Like, we grew up together, like skateboarding around each other.
Okay.
Most of the skateboarders in Chicago, like, you know, you guys become tight, you guys become homies at some point. And some of you guys just always will be like, what we call this, you won't be friends. You're like acquaintances.
Right.
So we were like acquaintances for a long time. Even though we knew about each other, we know each other's names, stuff, and this and that, little stories, whatever, and little accomplishments within skateboarding. We became a lot closer friends in the last few years. And, you know, he's also like impacted me a lot, and the way that, you know, there's no limit to where you can be at this success in whatever you want to be focusing on. And I could see that with him all the time, and it like influences me every day to just continue and pushing myself.
That's what's up. With your pictures, what type of pictures do you like taking? I went on your Instagram, I seen a lot of photos of like the sky, the canyons, and like just bright backgrounds. Is that something that you look forward to taking pictures of?
Yeah, of course. I really enjoy like natural, like scenic views and stuff. So like, at one point I was shooting to shoot and send photos to National Geographic of these, different sites around the country, throughout the Rocky Mountains and stuff like that. Because I enjoy natural beauty. I feel like that's like a thing that's very underexposed, and it's not exposed as much. Even though we all know about National Geographic, we watched Channel 11 at one point in our lives. Like you watch documentaries, but you don't really see it. And there's some things you'll never see in your life, or even expect somebody to take a picture of. So I'd rather capture it, put it out, and expose it to the world. Like why not? You would probably never make it there if you didn't know that place was there.
No, I seen a lot of pictures that amazed me. I think one you said was alive. Was a live organism in the ocean. It was like blue, and you could see the life within the life. That was crazy.
That was insane. That was I know exactly the picture you're talking about. I shot that picture in California at this beach called Half Moon Bay. It's connected to San Francisco, but it's like lodged in the mountains, kind of like hidden. It's where the Ritz-Carlton's at, kind of.
So you found that picture, really?
Yeah, I found that place. I was just scoping it out, smoking weed on the beach, chilling. I was with Lil Flash that day. And we were just going around taking pictures, enjoying the sights, and enjoying our time in Cali. At the same time, I was shooting a blog for Flash. So helping him out with that, and kind of getting other candid shots and stuff like that. So then I saw this fucking little system or this world on the ground.
Yeah, like a life within a life.
Straight up, because I was just the whole time I was walking on the beach, I was just smoking some fucking herb and enjoying the sun setting, and I'm looking down. I was like, damn, there's some starfish in there. There's some little fishes in there. It's like, damn. All right, well, let me get closer. And I was like, man, I need to take a picture before my camera falls in the water or something, or the tide comes up, and then I'm just fucked. So yeah, I like capturing pictures like that, and like I said, little things that would catch your eye, but at the same time, you're I'll never think about today. Do you remember every step of today?
Unless I sit back and think, not really.
Yeah. So I like capturing those steps sometimes, and just those certain moments in life where it's just damn, I don't think I'll remember this one, or you never thought to come back to that,
Do you put that same energy into your videos when you shoot videos?
Most definitely. I use that creativity for that, for sure.
Did you go to school for it?
No, I didn't. I went to school for architecture, okay. And that was going great. But slowly I got involved with Elevator Magazine with Brian and my friend Foreman James, who was just working there on the side, I guess more or less interning for a little bit. I would always just be there hanging out. I met a lot of people, kind of thing where you're just hanging out, artists come in, you become friends. And I remember one day I just picked up the camera and I took a picture of I think it was Jordan and Brian from Elevator, and with Young Chop, and they're just bro, you have an eye for this, why don't you use that energy and your perspective to maybe shoot something for us. And I just started helping on little projects here and there with Foreman and Jordan and Brian, obviously. And that's how it kind of took off. It didn't happen overnight. It's all really hard work,
You gotta put the work in, most definitely.
I mean, just visually pleasing, is what I'm gonna say.
So they basically influence you. Who are some other people that influence you to chase your dreams and to put you in this field?
The people that influence me, like artists around
maybe
me.
Artists, videographers.
Okay, video directors and videographers. Well, I wasn't really influenced too much by a lot of video directors, very much, just because I think I was more impressed with how things were captured visually on camera, with skateboarding at that time. If you look at certain videos, the Zero company who made, I forgot, it was Fuck. I forgot what that movie was called. It's like, whatever. Jamie Thomas is on there. His part is lit, visually and physically. Like, there's a lot of like capturing of him hauling big stair sets from far away, you know, and like a lot of people didn't take video like that of skateboarding until then, you know, taking videography, and there's all sort of effects and stuff. So I just started visually as a kid, just like kind of liking little things like that, effects, and kind of fell into videography by then starting filming like sponsor me videos for like say you or him or you know any of our homies, and started like adding, you know, doing little edits as a boy and learning how to edit videos, and then it kind of took my creativity to a larger perspective because I knew that I had a computer. I kind of like, you could almost control and physically manipulate anything you want visually on a computer screen, you know, and then show the world this in a different way, and people are like, damn, I kind of like this video, I like his part a lot, and that song behind it, you know, and like kind of went with the song, and like that whole magic behind it, you know, like it's like making a quilt, you know, you want the quilt to be right when you're done, and at that rate you're considering like shapes, like colors, sizes of things and whatnot. So I don't know, that just kind of like took me into a different creativity, you know, when I had a program that I could do other than just stop, edit, like you just like recorded it differently with another VCR, and like you made your own edits, you know. And now I had a computer, then I went ham and then kind of learned the programs and exposed them, you know.
So what program do you use when you edit?
Well, Final Cut Pro, usually. That's about it. I don't really like to use, I mean, there's a lot of other programs like Vegas and stuff, but I'm very comfortable with Final Cut. And I think this, I mean, obviously there's a lot of other better programs, but I don't think you could really, you know, go wrong with that. It's an original program that you could use on photos, video, and almost any audio if you want. Other than that, that's about it.
Was that the first program that you used?
No, it wasn't.
Start off with.
My first program that I used was that one program that had on all Apple computers, iMovie. So on iMovie, I edited a whole bunch of skate videos back in the day, when I was like 11 and 12, and then, you know, kind of got the feeling, the basics and the feeling to editing and stuff. And then later in life, I never thought I would use it again because I stopped skateboarding to go to school and just like focus on my career. As like a kid going to school, you know. I just needed to focus on school, because if I did skateboarding, I wouldn't be focusing on class. I'd just be skating all day. I would tell my mom I'm going to school. Instead, I'll be going out with you to go skate all day and then come back home at 3, 4 in the afternoon like, hey, what's up? You know, like, it just doesn't work. So I had to just cut it off for a little bit, and then I came back to it. Even though to the day I die, I always love skateboarding. That's for sure.
So do you still skateboard now?
Yeah, for sure.
So we could probably catch you like on another.
You catch me slipping in through downtown and in and out of different like communities and stuff with a couple buddies, you know.
Oh, okay.
You gotta enjoy the wave, you know.
So what type of camera do you use when you filming videos?
Well, I started with using Canons and stuff, and they were like Canon 60Ds, 70Ds, 7Ds. But now I'm using my Sony A7R2. It's a fucking great camera to work with. I mean, I can work with red cameras all day. I'm really used to all cameras, but I really enjoy with the Sonys right now. Just because they're so like small, very, you know, portable. You know, you could, like I said, I carry it on my back.
Right, so you get the smaller ones like that.
Yeah, if I carried a Canon every day, I'm gonna break my back every day. You know, at least I could put this in a couple of lenses that they make, and they're like super light lenses, and you could go on with your day and shoot at any time.
What advice do you have for up and coming videographers that's just starting to shoot videos, or those that's looking to buy a camera to even start their career?
Shit. I mean, you can't go wrong by just like using your basic, Canons that we used to use, which are, the reason I say they're basic is because it's not HD. The quality of the video is so different now. But we got programs that make it to HD for you now, so like that's okay. But I like the more higher end of the cameras, that are out there, just because like it makes your job a little easier. Also, you have more like you could actually manipulate what you want to do and shoot in dry colors or more exaggerated colors, or in a different medium, depending on what you want. It's just selected.
You did a lot of videos with Glow Gang artists, the late Capo, Benji Glow, Lil Flash, My Man. How did that come about?
Oh, I mean, I can never take that back, that's for sure. I appreciate them very much. Rest in peace, Capo, because goddamn, he was a good friend of mine. I was one of, the last videographers to shoot with him before that tragedy happened. And the rest of the guys like Blood Money too, like goddamn. I appreciate all of them, because if it wasn't for their meanings to expose me as a videographer, and Foreman James also for helping me with like just in general, like putting me on more or less with certain of them, other members. Now I'm just like straight Glow. Like I do this, I do it for fun. I do it because I enjoy it. I do it because I love it. And there's no better feeling for me, really. I mean, sex is great, drugs are great. I love eating.
But you know the passion of what you do.
Yeah, I love what I do. I love filmmaking. I'm a motherfucking filmer, at heart, and I love taking photos. I just like capturing our lives, because today we're here, like Chicago does to you,
Right.
And tomorrow you're gone.
That's true. Speaking of Chicago, being here and gone, how do you feel about the Chicago music scene?
Chicago music scene's pretty fucking lit. That shit's no goddamn joke over here. I mean, go to any other city, it's not gonna be the same. But the scene in Chicago is great. We have great artists, Chance the Rapper's fucking came out of the blue with this gospel rap. Now we've been having drill, we've been had trap, we've been had the gangster music, and I feel like that Chicago has definitely set this tombstone for what's drill. What else, like what we would call like mumble rap.
Right.
With all these motherfuckers out here, like Little Uzi or whoever the fuck. These people are just like, it's great, they're awesome artists, but now it's mumble rap where you just say, I'm going to the store, yo, yo, I saw a joint, yo.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, it makes no sense to me, I grew up with all music surroundings, I love all genres. But I can see how this trap music is evolving to shit right now. But the same rate, like, it's great. We listen to this shit. Well, fucking, you'll see me on videos just fucking listening to whatever that I really enjoy, But I would like to see, like, more, like, artists, like, that are more lyrical, like the Diplomats, Tupac,
Speaking of, like, better lyrics, how do you feel about Joe Budden criticizing Chance the Rapper, saying that his music was soft?
That Chance's music was soft?
Yeah.
Oh, that motherfucker's music is soft as shit.
Chicago, he said it was soft.
I mean, how I feel, I always thought Chance's music's been soft, but it's got a good momentum. You know what I mean? But it's soft as cornbread.
When you mean soft, is you talking about because of the violence or just the content of what he rapping about?
No, it's just soft in the. I mean, he's not very violent in most of his songs. So I mean, what sells right now is anything that has violence.
Right.
You know, you could look up all your local PlayStation games, and the first things are the shooting games that are out there that are top selling. You know. So I mean, if you're starting to do something like Kanye did and start his own like music wave, his own like genre of music, then he's got it. He definitely. I mean, you can't lose with Chance. You know, I'll tell you that much. And I appreciate his music. I just don't think it's for me. You know.
Okay. Chicago murder rate is high again. It's 2017. What you think we could do to slow that down?
And shit, all that stuff is interconnected with, you know, how our city literally pushed all these projects out into the rest of the city. But then again, it's their fault for even building these kind of infrastructure that housed millions and millions of families. You know, I actually watched a documentary last night about that. You know, like the Robert Taylor homes and and other project areas. You know, like O Block. You know, like, bro, I've been on O Block. I've written down there, and I've had good times. There's been some crazy times, and all types of other times. But like, the only way we're gonna get rid of this violence is by like, you know, obviously, I'm part of the problem. You know, because I shoot content that has guns. You know, it's very, you know, violent scenes sometimes. Okay. There's drugs, there's money, there's everything that's good, but it's bad, you know. But like I said, that's what sells. That's what most of these artists in the United States are doing, and that's what they're doing. Monkeying around with guns, talking shit about this and that, and who they just killed. Or it's an imbalancement right now in humanity for sure.
Do you ever fear for your life shooting videos with
Glow Gang and
some of these
all my
type
guys?
of artists that like wave guns in the camera? You speaking of like just being around it, you said it's still dangerous, but just filming the video itself, do you ever like fear sometimes that something might go wrong?
Of course, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the reason why I have security myself, you know.
Okay.
And like, cause I know of other videographers, you know, that have been in that same predicament where they, you know, they go there to shoot, and the camera's getting stolen, or they're getting robbed, or something that's worse than that, you know. So that's why I have security always. You know, like in a lot of places that I go to in this whole, you know, I travel a lot, I go everywhere. I don't have to have security or carry a gun or do this and that, you know, like. But in Chicago, there's no way around it. Like, real recognize real. It's gonna happen if it's gonna happen.
Right.
And I'd rather be caught with one than without one. That's for sure.
That's always true. So how do you feel about gun control? You think gun control is an issue or something that can help solve the issue?
The gun control, yeah, I mean, it could help. It could help finish, you know, a lot of this violence that's in the city, but you could buy a gun like it's candy out here, you know.
So do you think if more people had guns to protect themselves, that some of the things that's going on will slow down? Like if you up the gun on me and I pull one out, it would stop people from actively seeking randoms out, maybe?
Well, it's just a way of muting things now, because now we don't even fight each other. And now we shoot each other. And then if it's so, it's a conversation before that. You know?
So, what's your opinion on President Trump?
Oh God, he's a real piece of shit. I mean, but at the same rate, he's a, you know, at one time in our lifetime, his parents and him did a lot for a lot of these great cities. So you really can't hate on that part, but the racism and like the way he's controlling immigration problems and the way he goes at things that are so like in a blunt way, kind of doesn't make anything better, and it makes us look like kind of like a very egotistical, state, or even I guess what we call America to live in. You know.
Do you think a lot of that got to do with his open? You think a lot of that got to do with his open way of using social media? That we know how he feel, and any other president we always guess how he felt.
I mean, we knew that. I mean, there was some sort of like snippet online where he's like, one day I'm gonna race for president and be a Republican because I know that my money would talk more or less, and I'll get involved and then like switch up on him. So like I feel like he probably did our country wrong by kind of thinking in that way. I don't know if he acted in that way very much, but he sure did, kind of. If you look at the whole perspective and the picture of who he is now and what it was at that time, the only difference was his money value, like how much he was net worth. So when he was, now he's like, got so much going on. He's got a lot of equity, a lot of money coming in, but doesn't mean that just because you have money, you rule this room, kind of thing, like. It should always be about the people,
Right, it should be, but you know how they say, what he said to America is a corporation. Do you think he's good for business? As far as like, he might be leading us to World War III. Like a lot of this has been going on for years, but just his social media presence and the things he say, we on the brink of war.
I mean, hell yeah, he's more dangerous than I think than Al Qaeda, if you want to say it. Just because, like I said, he takes things in a blunt way, in a blunt manner. You're just gonna, you don't care about how I wouldn't care how you think. I just want to go on the ways I think by my like father's fucking the old ways. That my father's old ways of carrying himself or whatever, and I'm gonna make a decision upon how he used to handle things and mistreat you by not even thinking of your feelings. Like that's gonna, when it comes down to war, it's just gonna be fucked. Obviously we have somebody else in Korea that's got the same ego, and I'll run into that. If
yeah, that sounds crazy.
And I have a personal problem right now going on with this one cat here that's locally, and it's the same way. Whoever's gonna pull out first is how it's gonna happen, and that's the person that's gonna manipulate what's gonna happen.
Right.
And then you could call amens, and that's what's happening right here. It's like now it's gonna be a fucking third war.
Do you think that North Korea missiles or technology will ever do any damage to the USA soil?
Oh yeah, without say. And then I wouldn't be surprised if it's any day now, just because everything's so heated.
How do you feel about President Trump saying that no matter what, he's going to build a wall to block Mexico and the United States? Do you ever think he's going to achieve that goal as president?
Well, first of all, I'm Mexican, so we're not building that shit. And then second of all, there's not enough money behind it. Even if he puts his own money down, they won't let him do it. So, obviously the wall is getting, it's there. There's parts where it's not there. You could just walk right over, smoke a blunt right across, and just come right back, and we go back to our house in Arizona, whatever. But it's going to take a lot of manpower, and those people that are going to be building this will have to be on his side in some way, which, like I said, it's going to be about the money. It's not about how you feel about me or you, like me putting a wall against you and me not ever seeing you or talking or being friends ever again,
Right, really don't pretty much prevent anything just put more stress on the relationship.
I feel like you should never do that. I'd rather talk to you than block you away from my life. You know? Like, I'd rather be a part of like our relationship than spoil it by just being like harsh and hard-mannered, I guess, you know? Like, you just don't give a fuck. I care. Shit, I'd rather be able to see you on your other side of the yard and then maybe block one of the sides with a tree.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then put a fucking fence over you or something, you know?
Right. With Trump and the wall, like we were saying, he's like stopping the relationship. Do you think that he's making more attention with the race issue in America also?
Can you repeat that one time?
Do you think that he's putting more energy into race? Like, race always been a problem, but now that he's
Right.
president, just certain things that he said, do you think that he's making it more in the upfront as far as when Obama was in office? Like, the certain change?
I feel like from what I know about Obama, of our President Trump, that is that his family was never racist, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They're building homes for people of color, Mexican people at some point, and look at it now. Go to New York, it's still standing, you know, standing strong. So I never thought he was racist.
Okay.
He just has a bad demeanor.
Okay.
You know, so with that just being said, you know you're gonna do something wrong and hurt someone. By not even thinking about them in the long run and how it's gonna shape your life or my life for the rest of our lives. You know.
Right. That was something I didn't know. So you think most of all the talk is just personal opinion?
I think it's exactly like, remember how it's in this early in the interview I said that you know, he's gonna go the route his father did, which was, you know, he was very productive, very manipulative. You know, all he knew is that he had money and he had power, and if he wanted to tear you down and build something over your home, he was going to. You know, like, with that, you know, comes no like respect for humanity and like roots, you know, like family roots, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, man, I grew up on this block. No, well, now it's called this and that, and it's a fucking big ass building. And that your block is gone. You don't remember nothing. Everything's just been like taken away from you.
Are you into sports? You played any sports in high school or anything? You're a big fan?
I don't really have time to watch too much TV, but I love it. Like, I grew up playing baseball. I've been watching the World Series lately, and I apologize that the Cubs are not doing so well.
Yeah, they pretty much gone now.
Yeah, it's a done deal. Yeah, there's no more looking back until next year, but even next year I hope they could make it. But I enjoyed every sport, you know, but especially skateboarding. Like, skateboarding is a sport. When it came down to like ball wise, I loved the Bulls. I always loved going to the game when I was a kid. And it definitely affected my life too a little bit.
Who did you go see when you was a kid? Who did you see play?
Well, we saw, like, when my dad used to take me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Well, we only lived down the block from the United Center, so we'd go watch the Bulls play. Like, the Celtics won, you know, the Miami Heat. You know, I was born in '86. You know, I got to see the good old days of the Bulls.
Like Mike.
Yeah, when Mike was flying in the air, you know, I wanted them shoes. You know, I was that kid too, you know. Nowadays, like, I don't really have time to sit around and watch games. I'd rather just, like, stay productive or smoke some weed. You know, like, and not watch anything, because, like, I feel like watching TV shows and stuff like that kind of, like, take away from what you could have going on throughout the day. You know, I could call you, I could go make dinner, you know, clean the house real quick or something, you know. I'm not a sportsman anymore, I guess.
You talk about being active. Who are some artists you would like to shoot for that you haven't got a chance to work with yet?
Oh, shit. That's a good one. That's a good question. There's a lot of artists that I really want to work with that I haven't shot with. You know, I want to shoot a couple things like. I mean, I want to shoot a video with Twista just because it comes from our city, and I want to give back a little bit to that era, you know.
Right.
So I've been like checking them out a little bit lately. When it comes down to something like a little bit more like the mumble rap stuff that I was talking about earlier. You know, I wouldn't mind shooting with like Little Pump, you know, down to shoot with this new dude from California, Manny Fresco. Fucking amazing, lyrically great, you know, like amazing artist, a great poet.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind shooting with, you know, Birdman if you still want to shoot one more damn song, you know.
You a big fan of Birdman?
Hell yeah, his music influenced me a lot. You know, I go to New Orleans a lot, so like I would always be into that southern trap rap, you know, gangster music that they had down there.
Sound like you've been a fan of Cash Money for a long time. What's your opinion on Birdman and Lil Wayne's situation as far as the contract of him not paying them out for his last album?
Man, I think that's kind of bogus of him. You know, not to say the least, but you know, when it comes down to business, it's business. They should have. That wasn't a. I don't think that wasn't a well-written contract that Wayne got. If I'm right, I think I am. Yeah, it wasn't written in contract that he was gonna get paid the amount of cash that he was expecting because he didn't know he was gonna blow up. So that's why I say, you know, when it comes down to business, a lot of these artists, when it comes down to it, you have to be, as an artist, you have to invest in yourself and remember that, you know, it takes work and like determination for somebody like me or you or my friend DJ Cannon as an engineer to get your beats right, to get your sounding right, to get your music out there the right way and expose you the right way. You can't just like think you're gonna go into, you know, a booth and just spit and think that everything's just gonna collide right. You know, when it comes down to it, you're gonna have to do your job. He's gonna do his job. I have to do my job, and we all have to make something out of nothing. You know?
Right, team.
Yeah, it takes teamwork, and there's a lot of artists out here that just think it's supposed to be given to them, or handed to them, and nothing falls into anyone's lap. You know, when it comes down to work, you're working. You need to get paid. Your time and energy is put into it. You're not just there to like beat around the bush with someone. You know, you could have other clients who would actually pay you for your time. You know, so I mean, it's not really like a big problem, but there's a lot of. It's okay to give back and always appreciate the people you're working with, and give them a freebie here and there. But you know, you gotta add something to the table too. You know.
When you saying they gotta work for it, do you ever see artists come to video shoots and not get a full energy to project the music video itself, as far as like the booth not being the only thing where you have to be good at, like for your image you have to be good when shooting a video to be a star?
Like they're not putting in their 100?
Yeah.
I feel like I mean, I only surround myself with artists that are just doing that, just keeping it 100.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them come at you, some of them will come at you with like, they speak about something like you, like say you have cash, say you have drugs, well then if you have drugs and cash and all this, you're able to pay me and you and him.
Right.
So when I don't give you any cash, you're not motivated to do a good job. You know? So like I'm great with just doing stuff free and also helping a lot of the people in Chicago and in a lot of other states that I enjoy listening to. But at the same time, like, it's already past due. Now it's time to get paid. You know?
Mm.
There's no more like playing games here. Like it's just I love what I do, and I'm gonna do you a favor here and there, but not all the fucking time.
Right, you gotta grind for it.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
Shit. I mean, I'm not sure, man. I know I'm gonna be somewhere in Cali, just chilling somewhere in the hills. That's for damn sure. And enjoying the same job that I'm doing now, which is filmmaking, and I don't see myself changing into anything else. And just bettering my lifestyle, you know.
For those people that plan on visiting Chicago, do you have any cool spots for them to hit up?
God damn, Chicago's a beautiful city. There's anywhere you turn downtown is something to see, you know. What I would suggest somebody go and see is like take an architectural tour of Chicago, where they explain how Chicago was built and how what the Valentine's Day Massacre was, you know, what Lincoln Park Zoo is and what it is now, you know, or what like Burnham Harbor, which is the whole lakefront, like where, you know, Burnham was an architect who literally like made all of Lakeshore Drive, you know, and some of it's man-made. We think that the beach came up to this, it actually comes up to here, you know, and all this is man-made. We drive on it every day. We don't even know.
Right.
You know, so take some of those kind of tours where like they're informative. You see a lot of good things.
How do you feel about people working behind scenes in the music industry, like producers, videographers, that's not getting fairly compensated for their time and energy that they put into this music business?
Actually, I mean, I see a lot of my friends who are out there that do a lot of good work, you know. I feel like the ones that are underrated, like C-Sig, CB Mix, you know, a little bit of Young Chop, you know, Chop's already up in there. I think they all deserve their, you know, what they deserve, and they're all good people and pulling in great work. There's a lot of other engineers, you know, DJ Ken, that's so underrated, goddamn. You know, I pray for this man almost every damn night, you know. And, you know, everybody should always want their friends to be successful and, like, you know, put your friends out there too. Don't just put yourself out there, you know, get your leg in the door, but then pull a couple homies in too, you know. Like, always show love to the people you come from. You wouldn't be where you're at.
There's been a talk for some years now. They already changed how album sales are handled. They just put social media streaming with the sales. What do you think they can change so producers can make money in the business and videographers? More money. They making money, but more successful people.
I think if they give you more of a percentages, a bigger percentage from like music video views, plays in general, we could all be financially stable right now, like even more so. You know, like if you don't give the people the right to make money from what their work is, yeah, and you still break bread with yourself, like I don't see I see the bigger companies winning more than we are at all times, at every night. You know, I'm just like, damn, we just did like 1 million views. And that 1 million views drops down to $1,000. Like, that's a lot of views. First of all, it's a lot of people that just viewed this, that probably bought that album or that song, and you know it cost them more than $1, you know?
Mm-hmm. Most definitely did.
And the more independent artists like we are, we should definitely be getting paid a little bit better on that perspective.
What's your relationship with Foreman James?
Foreman James, he's a good friend of mine. I went to high school with his brother when I was a lot younger in high school. I think I met his brother when I was in like sophomore year. I didn't really know Foreman until like I mean, like, obviously I knew of him in high school, but we were like buddy. We kind of met more or less through our friend Jeremy and a lot of our friends at Elevator. It was like Brian and Jordan. And then like kind of collided and started becoming friends. Because we knew, like, we kind of figured out, hey, my brother's just, I was like, alright, well, fuck. What are you up to, man? You want to hang out? Let's chill at Elevator for a while. We'll come over and chill. And obviously smoke some goddamn weed. And like vibe out for a while, you know? And, you know, he would be behind the camera or working on other things where like digitally, like making websites and beats and stuff. And that kind of like sucked me into that world. You know, I slowly started, you know, hanging around people that were productive, that like made you who you were,
So
or made me who I am now.
Right. So how many years have you two been working together?
Shit. I don't know, Foreman, what do you know? I can't remember.
2, 3.
I think it was longer than that. It's probably like 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah. But I've seen him before because I, you know, hung out with his brother and stuff. But you don't always hang out with your homie's little brother or something, you know.
Right.
But we ended up being like around the same age.
So you got a chance to meet Blood Money before he was killed. How did you meet him?
I met Blood Money through Foreman. Remember that. He wanted us to just hang out and chill for a second. Foreman was at the Classic Studios. We ended up hanging out there while he was in there doing some vocals and stuff. I wanted to stop by because I was wanting to get more involved with more of the artists. So I went there to network and chill for a second. You know, we ended up just, you know, smoking, chilling, vibing out, talking about his vocals that he was making in there. Like some crazy noises. And I was like, man, what are we doing in here right now? Like, are we making like some sort of like warrior fucking video here, like song or some shit, you know? But you know, he had his own character to things. You know, he had his own ways of doing his own music, you know? Like any other artist, but he was just a little bit more savage and it was real. You felt it in the air when you were in there. You're just like, damn, I could feel this motherfucker ripping through my soul right now with this, you know, with these beats and the way they're laid out. But once you heard the whole thing, you know, like when you're in a studio and you actually put the beat behind it and you hear like the vocals and stuff, and you started noticing like, you know, this, you know, Blood Money was not joking around.
Right.
He was very well rooted. You know, he wasn't really there to like waste his time or waste money. And, you know, he used his time very productively. So I kind of, you know, we just kind of became friends.
When people think of Blood Money or see a picture of Blood Money, they automatically probably think savage or think that he lived a hard life outside of the hardcore shit. How was his personality? What type of person was Blood Money?
I mean, he was very, like I said, you know, to me, like, obviously he's, you know, a hell of a savage, you know, but he's also a hell of a great dude, you know. On the music side, he was very productive. He's, you know, self-guided. You know, he really wanted to be where he was at in life, and he was on his way up there, you know. Unfortunately, you know what happened is very unfortunate for everyone, but his energy behind things made you want to be more productive, even if as a videographer, photographer, you know, it just made you want to just be like, hey, fuck everyone, and fucking do your damn thing. You know, I might have been a bad guy at one time, but now I'm a productive person in society, obviously doing good music. And then he got signed with Interscope, and then, you know, obviously got a little bit of money, and then, you know, people get jealous and like, you know, whatever. You know, and then now, you know, obviously he's not with us, and God rest his soul, you know, but I don't know, ever since we've known each other, and it was very, not the longest time ever, I was able to learn to just say fuck it and enjoy what you're doing, even if you have like a like how I was raised in a crazy neighborhood. I was from a bad background, a society that to me I didn't know was that bad, and he made everything that was bad into good, and that's how I kind of stay humble with things, too.
You got a relationship with Interscope. You want to talk about that and like who you work with?
I mean, yeah, we could talk about it. It's not a problem. The people that I've talked to that had to do with Interscope was like Peter Pan from Glow Gang. Got to network with him, with a few projects and whatnot. With one of my friends that's actually like what do you call him? Like a connoisseur of like almost anything that has to do with visual arts. He connected me more with Peter, but I remember seeing Peter back in the day here around Chicago, always just like selling CDs, trying to get Glow Gang out there and stuff like that. So he intertied me with a lot of the videographers, people that are productive in the scene, okay. And producers that just want to see you grow. And I was still, like to this day growing with them. Slowly, like obviously we shoot all these different videos, everything's exposed, and most of like the artists that we're working with are very productive artists. Some of them might just take a little break sometime, but they're still gonna come back in a week and drop a whole album in a couple hours in here. Within 4 hours you got Flash doing a whole 10. Like damn. And I like being surrounded by them. I appreciate their friendships and the friendships that I built with all of them. Everyone from Pops, which is Little Flash dad, down to Caper to fucking Tato to everyone. They appreciate that I appreciate them. And a lot of people don't. And, obviously they're, not the most perfect people in the world, but they're good people to work with, a lot of them, they stick to their own. A lot of them, they just like, a little crazy, maybe
they own
coolest and shit. Yeah, but they always showed me love, and I always, been cool. And I appreciate them for allowing me to be part of the family, for sure.
How was your relationship with Capo?
Man, it was fucking awesome, man. It's like, I got to work with him through Foreman, too. With Foreman James, he kind of exposed me to a lot of these members. And kind of helped me out, like guide myself through this. And then I built relationships. Like with Capo, his relationship with me was like, just stay productive, let's stay productive, and fucking do shit.
He was a workaholic.
Hell yeah. God damn, I swear it was an everyday thing. Like, where the fuck you at? I'm over here. Alright, we're shooting right now a little bit. I was like, fuck it, let's go. Foreman be like, what, you ready for me? Foreman be like, alright, yeah, let's go. Fuck, we just grab our cameras and slide. And then also like have a good time with the whole gang and everyone. It was fun. It's always been fun and still fun. Now we just have a blast, It's like kind of written in stone, Like if you become productive and focus on what you like to do, and you do it right, you're gonna reach somewhere. You're gonna get somewhere.
It's gonna hit that milestone one day.
Yeah, and all of our work is so it's paying off. For sure. I'm working with a lot of people that I fucking always wanted to work with, and I'm part of groups and people and teams and companies that are just. God damn it, I'm blessed.
So what should the fans be looking out for? What new videos or photo shoots you got coming up?
Oh man, I'm about to be in LA in a few weeks. I'm gonna be working with Flash. We're gonna be working on his latest album.
Okay.
Dropping almost every song if we could. What I want to do is just focus on certain artists that are productive. But you know, they should see all the new up and coming artists that are coming up right now. Definitely working with me, you know.
Okay.
I'm just gonna stay focused and get on the grind and just put it all out there. You'll see it, you know, like on Elevator Magazine. You see it on Foreman James' page. You know, I'll put it on your pages if you want. World Star, everything. It's global, you know.
It's all about consistency, so you're gonna keep working.
Oh yeah, just stay focused on what I like and, you know, and enjoy the way. You know?
So how can people reach you on social media? What's your Instagram and Twitter handle name?
For sure. On Instagram, you can look me up under Papa Doobio, PapaDoobio, and then on Twitter it's the same thing. You know, on Snapchat you can find me under there, and it's rated X, not for everyone. Or we just say PG-13. Yeah, you can find me on anything. Just feel free to message me whenever you want. I'm always ready to work. You know, I'm ready to go anywhere. You know, the world is ours if you really want it.
It's your boy Swag 9 Mil on ShibuyaTyson.com, where the music at. And we out.
Hell yeah. Glow.